Yeah, you would not believe what this man actually said. Watch the video to find out. Hi again, Caribbeanologists. Some of you might be wondering why my background is always changing. But for right now, as I've mentioned in a few other videos, I have a toddler. And that toddler does not allow me to go ahead and do videos in the house. He will come and bang on the door because he's looking for my attention, so you guys would be hearing all that banging. And he would be disturbing my trend of thought. So until we move into a larger location where I can actually find a room where I can get away from him, but it's probably not going to stop him from knocking on the door. I have to sometimes just do these videos wherever I can. And sometimes a thought will come across my mind. I'll just decide to stop and do the video wherever I am. So I happen to be outside right now on a pretty warm day, breezy, but it's warm. And a thought came across my mind about a video I'd like to do. So here I am. It's also a very sunny day, so this is why you see me with the shades on. So I decided to just go ahead and do this video. Now this video happens to be, so please forgive me if it's bouncing around a bit here because I have to hold the phone in my hand. But this video is about something that has always bothered me when it comes to the Caribbean. Now, some of you may have heard that I've mentioned a little motto of mine that I use when it comes to the Caribbean. You may have heard me say it in a couple of other videos, and that is, I want the world to see and understand that the Caribbean is more than just rum, sun, and fun. Because that's generally what they think of. You think of the Caribbean, you think of beautiful beaches, you think of drinks, you think of pirates, you think of just laying on the beach somewhere all day long. But we're far more than that, believe it or not. We are that, yes, but we are far more than that. And what I want to do here at Caribbeanology is talk about the far more than that. That's pretty much what I want to do. Now, here's the reason why. If I go, me being from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Thomas to be specific, if I go to YouTube right now and I decide to type in the Virgin Islands or St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John, these islands that make up the U.S. Virgin Islands, if I go and put in a search for that, what I'm most likely going to come across are videos, touristy type videos from tourists who have visited the island, or maybe people who are actually living there, but more white people who may be living there. I'm not saying more white people live there. I'm just simply saying that more likely to do these videos. But let's just say most of the times it's just tourists who are visiting the island on a cruise or there for a few days. And they decide to go ahead and do a video. And the videos will probably be titled A Tourist Guide to the Virgin Islands or What to Do When in the Virgin Islands. Let me move over here out of the sun a little bit. What to do in the Virgin Islands. And you will see them talking about things there, and a lot of times you will notice they're talking about our usual tourist sites, Magens Bay, Coral World, the different beaches that we may have there, Charlotte Amalie for shopping and so forth. This is what they're talking about, and this is what they bring forward. That's perfectly fine. That's their right. They can do whatever they want to do in regard to those type of things. But just forgive me. This is New York City. So this is the kind of noise you deal with here in this place. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing sirens in just about every direction. But that's normal here in New York City. So forgive me for that noise, okay? But they will sit there and they will talk about their experiences there. And again, they're pointing it out from a tourist point of view. Now, what tends to bother me, not what they're doing specifically, but I'm looking for videos from us, you know, and this is the problem that I've always had, where it's been one of these type of things that they see you over here in the United States. And when you tell them where you're from, they're like, oh my God, why are you living here when you could be living there? And it bothers me in the sense that it is true that they are going to where I come from to enjoy and live it up on their yachts and their beaches. I'm not saying they don't work hard wherever they're coming from or whatever, but they're enjoying where I come from. And some of them, because they have money, really enjoying where I come from. They can buy houses, they buy lands, they're living there. It's like their second home or their third home, and they're living there. But we're over here living in their country, working hard to make them rich so they can go back to where we come from to enjoy where we come from. So when I go home, I'm only going home for a week's vacation, a 2-week vacation, and then I have to look behind and just leave it. Leave what I'm accustomed to behind because I have to go somewhere else to try to make money and to try to live. But the other thing, like I was mentioning or just hinted at, when I'm looking, it's usually them who are making the videos about where we come from. And I am not saying that we don't have vloggers from the Virgin Islands. I'm not saying we don't have Caribbean vloggers from other countries and so forth. I'm definitely not saying that. But the thing about it is that they're the ones who seem to be the one telling the story. They're the ones showing the beauty of where we come from. Where are we? There are a few of us in between, yes. Like, for example, I like this one guy from Guyana. He lives there. His last name, I think, is Passad. I think his video channel is called It's Our Life or something along that line. So I'm giving him some props right here. And I love what he does. He is Guyanese, but he travels all up and down his country, promoting his country, talking about his country, showing all the little intricate details about his country. I love that. That is something that I want to see more of. But you would have a handful of us who will go home, who will pull out our cameras, and we'll do some sort of a vlog. Another thing that happens is not even sometimes us. It may be people that look like us, but you may have some young lady visiting from Cincinnati or from New York or from New Jersey, from Florida, and they go down there. They're not from the island, mind you, or any one of the islands, but they happen to just go down there and they do a vlog. And they tell you about the exciting things that they're doing. I appreciate what they're doing. I'm glad about what they're doing. But again, they can't tell the story like us who are actually from there. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video, this is the primary reason. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. I was watching a video, and since I have my YouTube videos on autoplay, I was watching some videos about the Virgin Islands, and it rolled over to another video with this white couple. And they're driving around telling you about things that you can do in St. Thomas and just giving you a blow-by-blow about the island. You drive on the left. There's a lot of hills. You got to be careful for this. You got to watch out for that. This is how much this costs. And they were just going through. Then it got to a point where they got into the city, Charlotte-Amalie, where I was born, the capital city of the Virgin Islands. And I noticed that he flipped his camera around to show a picture of a beer can sitting behind the steering wheel up against the dashboard. And he kind of stopped to say, oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention to you guys, it's cool down here. And he grabs the beer can and he brings it out of the car and he's drinking. And of course he's filming himself drinking the last little bit out of the beer can, and then he throws it in the garbage. And he says, oh yeah, one thing, hey, you can drink and drive down here. I didn't know that. You can drink and drive down here. And that was like, if there was a record scratch that I could have edited into this, it would have been right there when I said, you can drink and drive down here. Now, this is what I'm referring to. This guy is giving misinformation. As far as I know, you cannot drink and drive in the Virgin Islands. What you can do in the Virgin Islands and in other Caribbean places, unlike parts of the United States, if not all of the United States, you cannot walk, you can walk around with an open container of something that you're drinking. So you can be sitting outside, you can be walking down the street with a beer in your hand and drinking it. As far as I know, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually do that. Over here in the United States, I think you have to have that hidden. You have to have it in a paper bag or something along that line. You cannot have it exposed. But over in the Caribbean, at least the Virgin Islands, and I know Guyana, you can actually go around with your beer in your hand. You can just be drinking it as long as you're not driving. But this guy is saying you can drink and drive. As far as I know, that's not the case. So guess what's going to happen? His viewers who are watching this, they're going to jump, come down to visit the Virgin Islands and like, hey, this guy said that I can drink and drive, so I'm just going to drive around drinking, holding a beer, you know, drinking, having some liquor in my car, just drinking while I'm driving and probably kill somebody. No. So again, this is what I'm referring to, because we're not the ones telling the story. We're having someone else tell the story for us. We're having someone else tell us or tell the world what to expect in our countries and what to look out for. I'm not going to say that they're telling lies. A lot of them usually come on there and they just report what they see. So I'm not saying anyone is deliberately doing anything or lying or anything like that, but they may give some misinformation. Or they may say something that needs some qualification that they don't even know what the qualifications are. Or that they may say something that needs to have some context and they don't know what the context is. So I am doing this video because I want to see more of us when we go home, when we go back to our countries, when we go back to our islands. Pull that camera out and you do videos. Don't just take pictures of you up in the club and all this kind of stuff. Okay, that's great, you know. But why not take some time when you're driving around, pull your camera out, put it up on your dashboard, show where you come from, talk about it in depth, talk about the communities you come from, talk about your islands, talk about your countries. I think you will be doing a great, great, great service for us who are abroad and for us who go back home to visit, or for even us who are living back home. And it doesn't have to be us alone who are traveling or who live in the diaspora and we're going back home and we're doing videos. The folks who are back home, hey, pull that camera out, take some pictures, do some videos. I know you have your life to live, mind you, and I know not everyone is YouTubing and not everyone is on YouTube and not everyone is interested in doing things like that. But if you have your phone, you have your camera, every now and again, take it out and travel. Go around your island, go around your country, and just do some videos and just make YouTube a little bit more interesting when it comes to us. All right? So just wanted to just put that out there. Just a little gripe that I had. And if you have any comments about this, you can put it down in the comment section. Again, my motto is, when it comes to the Caribbean, I want the world to know we are more than just rum, sun, and fun. Okay? We are more than that. And what I want us to do a little bit more of is to talk about the more than that. Is to video the more than just that. And talk about it and bring it to the rest of the world. We have a lot to offer. We have a rich history. We have rich cultures. We can talk about those kind of things more than just carnival jumping up and so forth. There's a lot more going on when carnival is over. I want to say a lot more. I'm not saying like there's a whole lot of activity maybe in some places, but there's a whole lot more to see and talk about. All right? All right, Caribbeanologists, thank you for tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. Let me get going. I've got some things here to do. So until the next video, you guys take care, and thank you for being my loyal viewers. I also just want you to make sure that you can like, you can also share this video, and please, most of all, subscribe so I can continue producing this content for an audience that will appreciate it, okay? You guys take care, and thank you.